Hello and welcome to your weekend oracle reading for October 26 and 27, 2019. I'm Linda the Lightworker and I'm so glad you're here. I got a request yesterday to time for new tarot decks, and I kept hearing that from Spirit too. So we're switching to some new decks for a while. And the first deck I'm using is this World Spirit Tarot, and the pictures are by Lauren O'Leary, and the text is by Jessica Godnard. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Jessica. And because this author has a different description for each card, I'm going to be doing some reading from this book. So as we're going along for the cards. And our second card will be from the beautiful Denise Linn Sacred Travelers decks. And you know how much I love her. She's just a magical, beautiful being, and I just love bringing in her energy every day, so it's nice to have her back. And then I'm still using one of my watercolor Divine Action card decks. So those will be our cards we're using. The old cards are being cleansed with some selenite wands, my travel altar, and it's just a nice way to give them a rest and purify all that energy that is in there. And now we're moving into some new decks. Okay, so let's jump into our first card for the weekend. This first one we have is the Ten of Swords, and it really does look like somebody is out there slaying their dragons. That's what it looks like to me. There's a blurb before each card description, so I'm going to read that because maybe some of you will connect with these words. So the Ten of Swords is ruin. It says ruin. Ruin. Very serious. The Egyptian god Osiris was murdered by his brother. Oh, that's a bad day. Murdered by your brother. Oh. Okay, murdered by his brother, the dog-headed Set, S-E-T, after a long-standing rivalry. In the scene, Set thrusts his sword after sword into the body of his brother, who lies with hands bound as the waters of the Nile lap at his ankles. Look at it, there it is, lapping away. Behind them, in the red light of the sun, stands the goddess Isis. Oh, mighty Isis, Isis, Isis. Do you remember that? Did you watch that when you were a kid? Here she is up here. It was a daytime TV show, or Saturday morning. That's another story. There's Isis. As the sun sets on her husband's life, she raises her arms in supplication to the powers that will eventually resurrect him. So that's good news. He's going to get up. All right, so here's what this card meaning is from this author. The actual physical death is rarely described by the Ten of Swords. So this is a metaphysical, sort of like, it's a metaphorical, that's it. More likely it marks the end of a deeply troubled situation or idea, or a multitude of problems striking all at once. Whatever you feared most may have come to pass, leaving your life in ruins. As painful as this destruction may be, it is absolutely necessary. It's like the Tower card is coming in and just literally saying, dude, you're done. You got to get rid of all this shit. That's the current version. As painful as this destruction may be, it is absolutely necessary. Come to terms with the reality of your situation and find the strength to see yourself through this time. Surrender and welcome the opportunity to end the cycle of pain and step into a better future. So this is a good card. Dude, it can't get any worse than that. The worst is over. The worst is over. That's what it says here. Things can only improve. And that is really like no kidding. Like Osiris, you can rise again, renewed and wiser for your experience. So what a powerful card about death and resurrection. I know many of you have been going through a tumultuous time out there, or feeling like you're getting there and then suddenly a setback and a setback and a setback. So hang in there. It looks like the worst is over. The ruin card is at the end of this. And this also means slaying, the Spirit saying, slaying the dragons that are in your head, slaying the, slay it. That's all I keep hearing. Just get rid of your demons. Some of you has these dark forces take over, and sometimes when we get pulled under, we get pulled under these watery emotions, it may seem impossible to reignite our fire. And sometimes we need help getting our pilot light lit. Wink, wink, something, you know what I mean? Like sometimes others can help light our pilot light, but we need to learn how to light our own so that we're able to regenerate that energy. So as dark as this may look, and I have heard some dark stories lately, and I know many of you have been in terrible places, but things are getting better. All hope is not lost. There is resurrection is coming. Yeah, I'm really hearing Spirit say, oh, Spirit says, move on to the next card. Okay, so we go to the Denise Linn Sacred Travelers deck, and the View from Above card comes up. Let me fix this lighting. There we go. The View from Above. First of all, I love these colors, so healing. But this is like hawk medicine in the Native American tradition. When you're able to get a bigger picture, look back, get a bigger picture, rise up from your situation, this is part of the resurrection process. You must be able to see your life from a higher perspective and view down and notice how pretty this village is where you are now, and oh, isn't it lovely, and try and take the whole perspective of your life from a higher vantage, because from there you'll be able to see more clearly where something might be still broken down, or where there might need, or where you might like to be, or someplace else, and where it can lead to this and that. So please rise up. The devil is in the details, is all I keep hearing. So stop focusing on those details and go a little bit more general. Abraham Hicks would say, keeping it general is what, especially if you're feeling, you know, crappy, exhausted, slayed, being killed by your brother. Either, it doesn't matter which role you are in this card. You know, it doesn't matter if you're doing the slaying, or if you're the brother, or if you're watching for the resurrection. These are all you. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're feeling, oh my God, I'll never survive this. This last thing has just plummeted this sword through my heart, then allow yourself to rest so that you can have that resurrection. I keep hearing the 3 days that work for Jesus. So try a 3-day rest. Really do your best to rest. And then just visualize yourself in a higher place and from a different vantage point. And don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the this and that. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Don't worry about how it's going to work out. Just for a little while, just for this weekend, this is this weekend's assignment, just for a little while, only focus on the general things. Pull back and notice, hey, do you have a nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee? And think about the view from where you are, from its higher. Look at all these beautiful colors. So really just take it all from a higher perspective. And then I went to my Divine Action card deck, and the same word that came up with this card is surrender. Surrender. Oh my God. Surrendering is so hard. Wave the flag. I surrender. What does that mean to you? A lot of people have a hard time with the word surrender. Look at this. If you don't surrender, you'll just end up down this nasty insanity of this bunny hole. That's why this card looks like this. Because when you surrender, you're able to go with the flow a little bit more. Again, this view from above means turning off those tiny details. So when you're letting go of that, it's also about releasing your past. So surrender and release your past. These are the messages that are really coming through. Now, those of you who are dealing with past trauma, I of course strongly encourage you to seek the appropriate mental health professional that you require. We all require different things. Some people need to be on medicine, Western medicine. Some people need to be on Chinese medicine. Some people need to be on herbal medicine. Whatever your medicine path is that you're committed to, make sure you're working with someone who has your best interest and someone who you can trust. And when you're releasing your past, especially, well, anything from a second ago is your past. So you're always older and wiser when you're receiving yourself and helping yourself through that. So if you're able to visualize your the self of you and how you looked yesterday or 10 years ago or 40 years ago, or wherever you're recovering and releasing your past from, be sure to welcome that part of you back into your body and hug her or him and hold them very dear to you and breathe them in. Just welcome back, sweetheart. You're safe with me. I got you now. I got you now. And this will help recovering some of these bullet holes of pain we have in our hearts. So allow yourself to really receive yourself back in and welcome you back with loving arms. And above all else, have the most compassion for yourself, for wherever you are. If you're simply observing yourself, waiting for yourself to resurrect, have compassion for you and what you've been through. This has been a hard time. I know it's been hard. I know it's been hard. And you're not alone. Thank you so much for stopping by my little channel. It sounds like we've got an interesting but also very healing weekend ahead of us. So go easy with yourself. Make sure you have some yummy snacks and good nutrition. Take lots of naps and drink plenty of water, okay? I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.